Hi, my name is Ken Asselson. I wrote the Microbiome prescription website. Today, a reader made an interesting request of me, and I got thinking about it and realized, yeah, makes sense. It's a bit computational intensive, but trials found that it is acceptable. One of the problems is the more complicated I do things on the web, the slower it becomes and the greater the load becomes. So there's a trade-off there between what I can do on the web and what I can do offline on my backup machines. Okay, so the new feature, probiotics. Everybody wants to know which probiotics you take. Okay, so once you log in under my profile, you find there is a new link there called Probiotic Overview. If you click that and wait, it'll take a few seconds for it to compute because it does a lot of computation. And it will give you a multiple dimension analysis of probiotics. Here is where, first of all, there is no right answer as to which ones you should take. There are 3 ways which I can compute it. There's a 4th way, which is if you have a particular medical condition, have there been a study showing that this particular probiotic helps that condition. That is a whole different thing, and it's very fragmented information. What we do have available is, do we know what the impact is on other bacteria? And the question is, which bacteria do I select? And what I did is I went over and used Jason Harlach's criteria for healthy gut. And so it's a small set of bacteria which are being used. And voila, that's the ones which we see how the probiotics influences what he deems to be the key bacteria. Does it correct your shifts or doesn't correct your shifts? The second one is using information from the Kyoto Encyclopedia of Genomics. We have calculated out how much production of different enzymes you have. There's about 1,500 different enzymes which we have showing up. And we take a look and say, look, go and give me a list of the enzymes I'm low in. And for practical purposes, we'll say I'm using the bottom 10% of the enzymes. So with 1,500 enzymes, the average person would have 150 by randomness. Actually, in reality, some people have 500, which means they are really low on enzymes. So, but the enzyme also have a byproduct. They produce different compounds, including things like hydrogen peroxide, NADH, you name it, almost all the chemicals. And there are, again, over 1,500, 2,000 of them. So what we can do is compounds which you're low in, we can say, okay, which probiotic will produce those compounds? And the idea is if you're low in that, the compounds or the enzyme, getting a bacteria in which will increase the amount will hopefully normalize the whole system. The first way was trying to adjust up or down other bacteria by their impact on it. So we got 3 ways. Which one is best? I have no idea. What you have here is you have information, and now you have to figure out what to do or get your medical professional involved to do it. What we have here is we have the retail probiotic names. This is available somewhere in the world. It may not be available in your jurisdiction. Hence, we have a lot of them. We have over 250 names, and probably we'll be adding in more. And we don't calculate from the specific species. We calculate from the specific strain. We calculate from the species using KIG data for everything. So everything is basically done at a broad species level, not individual strains. So we use some information there. But you can see what we have listed here is the ones which provides the best amount of your missing enzymes, the one that provides the best amount of your missing compounds, and then we see whether or not in terms of Jason criteria it helps or hurts. In some cases you will see has absolutely no impact on Jason criteria. This compound doesn't have any influence on the small set of bacteria which he deems to be critical, but it does have benefit for enzymes there. You could go over here and you can click here, and those are things, no nothing, but now you can see the ones which has the best benefit in which case here, in which case we have blank here because none of the enzymes or compounds in this particular bacteria. Either we don't have any information about that particular species, or the compounds being produced by the species are not ones that you're short of. So we end up having to figure out which way you want to do. For example, Paracassi here looks like a very good selection because it has a good enzyme rate, it has a good compound rate, it's a net positive effect, etc. Now, to explain one thing else, particularly with number one, is if you go over to changing your bacteria, and you go down and do something like Jason's criteria here and get suggestions, you won't get the identical same suggestions. You get the usual, but down here is commercial probiotics. And basically, it goes and does things, uses a slightly different calculation process because we don't know what the perfect calculation method is, but it goes and does the best impact. So you can go in and you can take a look at this one, go back and forth between them if you want. But basically, every time you do it, it ends up listing everything and giving the values high or low, mixed impact or no impact. And that's based on the bacteria selected here. And in this case, we end up having 5 bacteria selected. With the other way, I use Jason criteria, and I also toss in percentiles. If you are between the 40th and 60th percentile for a particular bacteria, then I also exclude that. So you end up probably having less bacteria picked using the other method than going through this way. But again, same information is there, except you don't have all of the enzyme level decay-based data. That's basically it. A very short, simple additional page, which should be very easy to get to, and gives you. It's like going and seeing 5 different doctors. Each doctor will have their own opinion, etc. What I've tried doing is giving things which are numerically calculated, so there's no personal bias to speak of in it. And you can go and figure out what trade-offs you want to do. Or you could say, okay, let's try just these or one of these, whichever one seems to be the best benefit, and see what the response is. Or you could go and raise the criteria that you really want to have one which has Jason benefits, and over here, in which case now you get another set of one here. And in my particular case, Paracassi or Dan Active Drink are, for many people, very good choices. If you're in Australia, we have Gastro Health and Acid combination. Securial, which is another one, but it has no benefit there. So again, it's a balancing act. It's a juggling act. So I think your medical professional consultant should be able to help you resolve, or you should at least show the table to him so they can understand the complexities of the issues that you are trying to deal with. Okay, that's it. End of video.